Sunny FM is excited to announce its Couples Retreat 2025.
Like a dream come true.
The Couples Retreat train is heading to the beautiful city of Takoradi this year. Prepare for a refreshing and unforgettable weekend getaway at the Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, crowned with a special vacation at the Groove, a Sipon Beach Resort. Date 29th to the 31st of August 2025. Lock down the date and get ready to experience a weekend filled with warm fellowship, interactive and impactful retreat sessions, and intentional couple bonding activities that will leave lasting memories. Our time at the Groove, a Sipon Beach Resort, promises pure delight, horse riding, kayaking on calm waters, to relaxing couple walks, couple games, and beautiful moments under the sunset. It's a perfect setting to unwind and reconnect in the most memorable way. The weekend will cost 7,888 Ghana cedis per couple, inclusive of transportation. Registration deadline is the 25th of August 2025. To register, call or WhatsApp 0545 223324 0545 223324. Don't miss this special opportunity to refresh your love, strengthen your bond in a faith-filled and uplifting atmosphere. Let's make this a weekend to remember together.
Trying to see that you're the only. Oh, key steps 1, 2, 3. Make you fall in love with me.
Sunny FM is excited to announce its Couples Retreat 2025.
Like a dream come true.
The Couples Retreat train is heading to the beautiful city of Takoradi this year.
7 FM is time for a Marriage Unscripted series, and this morning we are joined by one of our resource persons we'll be going to Takoradi with. I've been saying this is the third time I will be having him and his wife Letitia join us in our Couples Retreat. The couples love him, we love them, and so yes, we're looking forward to a great time with them. But as we build up to the Couples Retreat, there are lots of things that come up along this time of the month, and we are touching on the Marriage Unscripted series. And I remember when he joined us earlier this week, he mentioned we'll be touching on the attachment styles and its impact on relationships. And so Michael is seated with us this morning. You can join us. We are live on Facebook, also on YouTube. Remember to subscribe to our channel. And then, oh, okay, my production guy's excited that I'm remembering to say all these things. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and of course you can also share the link with others who can be blessed by this interview. Michael, good morning and welcome to your second session with us on the Marriage Unscripted series. We've been waiting for you.
And as always, I'm happy to be back.
Happy to see you. And you had loads of questions today. Remember, you can join in the conversation wherever you're listening to us from, whether in the U.S., right here in Ghana, another region. All right, you can send in your comments if you have a contribution, 0540 130 684. 0540 130 684. Michael, you're welcome to the Marriage Unscripted series, understanding the attachment styles, how that affects relationships. How relevant is this?
Well, I think I shared last week when I was here that in the work that Letitia and I do, counseling couples, coaching couples, intervening with some issues, some patterns are coming up. And I think we need to pay attention to some of these things that are attacking marriages, and for us, especially Christian marriages. Let me start by asking a question and then a scenario. Jenny, do you know your husband?
I think I do. A few times I'm like, I didn't know this about him. So I don't think I know him completely yet.
All right.
I feel I'm still discovering things along the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what happens, that most of us think we know our spouses, but it's like onions. Every day through incidents and experiences, some layer peels off, and then you begin to discover and know, who you are dealing with. Also, if you would look back over your relationship, or if we all look back at our relationships, you will see that there are times when one partner withdraws when there's an issue. They won't say much. They won't say anything. There are also times when seemingly trivial things takes off your partner in a way that you just don't understand.
Yeah,
Why? What did I say?
thing.
Why is it that you get so worked up with this particular incident? And then there are times when one person wants to talk about issues, the other person says, I'm not ready for this. And one of my friends calls it Cold War. There's Cold War or there's doomsday, sometimes for hours or days or weeks or sometimes months in extreme cases. Now, all these things, if you want to understand your spouse very well, one of the secrets to understanding is to look at your partner's attachment style. Now, what is attachment style? The behavior scientists say that all of us, how we were raised before 18 months forms our attachment style.
Before 18 months?
Yes. So the secret to understanding your partner, your spouse, is to look at the relationship they had with their parents or their caregivers before they were 18 months.
That's a hard task, before 18 months.
Yes, exactly. Now, most of us don't go to that extent. We don't go back, or we don't try and find out, because you would typically meet your significant other around about tertiary education.
Yeah.
And so it's all the lovely and dovey and let's go here, let's go there, and the butterflies are flying in your stomach, and then you see this hunk or you see this very pretty lady, and then we start off from there without checking, without going back. Now, so what is attachment style? Basically, how our parents raised and related with us. How our parents or caregivers raised and then related with us. Now, did they give us enough love, affection, and attention during that time, especially from 18 months, 3 years, 5 years? Those are the critical formation periods for almost all of us. And if you don't get saved, whatever happened to you before you were 7 tends to follow you throughout life. Now, there are people who are in abusive relationships. There are people, and the abuse can be emotional, physical, or verbal, because every little conversation erupts. And this person will say unkind things about the other person. So some are going through, remember last week I talked about the 4 types of marriages that we are seeing in our work. And so then the relationship is either strained or shattered. There are people who do the emotional abuse, withdrawing love, withdrawing communication. We are in the same room, we become roommates because something has happened and we haven't been able to deal with it. Now, the attachment style is to the extent that your partner received love, attention, and affection when they were young. It makes them feel safe and secure throughout life. It makes them feel safe and secure throughout life. Because per that nurturing, per that raising, they begin to trust human beings. They begin to feel loved. And therefore, they exude and show that throughout their lives. Now, if your partner was denied love, attention, and affection, if there was emotional abuse, or sometimes it is not abuse, but it is withdrawal or absence of emotional support during childhood. Now, when a person goes through that, they tend to not trust human beings, and they tend to live in anxiety because of what they went through when they were young. That is the attachment style. And so, if, for instance, I went through abuse, or I went through the deprivation of emotional love and support, I tend to have a certain anxiety in life. I tend to have a certain suspicion that what is coming next? Now that will shape your relationships throughout life. That is the attachment style I'm talking about. So today, if you want to understand your spouse very well, you need to find out, research, go back. How was my husband raised? Who was the primary caregiver in his life when he was much younger? What was the state of that relationship? If you want to understand your wife better, same questions. What was the extent of the relationship between your wife and her father, or whoever raised her when she was young? Was there love at home, or it was just an emotionally absent parent? Because that would explain why your wife is now jealous as an adult, because she's afraid that somebody will withdraw love from her. Wow. This is the attachment style that I'm talking about. Okay. So you see, that's why we are so big at LeadAfrique on parenting, because the way we are parenting children forms them for life in ways that we underestimate. So if you are trying to understand why your husband doesn't seem to want to confront issues, it is because of his attachment style. Okay. How he was formed. Now, he was not allowed to discuss issues when he was young. Because when you raise it, you say, shut up. A child cracks nails, not tortoise. A child is supposed to be seen, not heard. So shut up. So shut up meant that if I talk, I am punished. If I keep quiet, I am accepted. And so in marriage, your partner doesn't know how to bring up issues, because the attachment style was anytime you don't want to be punished, scolded, or yelled at, you need to keep quiet. And so in marriage, they tend to keep quiet. Anytime I bring an issue, they run away because they are not used to it. Is not in their DNA to raise issues, because that is how they were formed. That is, in a nutshell, our attachment style. Because even though they are grown and it's been 30 years or 25 years since the brain captured all of these experiences and wired that person in the way you experience them today. That's how the brain has wired them. And so if you are listening to me, if you are a parent and you keep telling your children to shut up, and as I said here last week, it is only in Ghana where you are beaten for crying when you are beaten.
It's true. It is very true.
So you tend to bottle up your emotions. You tend not to talk. You tend not to speak up. You tend to just keep everything within. And if you do that for 20 years of your life, and even our lecturers, they are killing people, because even at tertiary level, your lecturers don't want you to speak up. And so you tend to live in your head. And then you get married. And your partner says, oh, let's discuss it. Say, no, please. Why? Because all your life, you found safety only when you were silent. You found safety only when you were what? Silent. Oh, why? Because he doesn't talk back when we talk about it. But he's talking about it just exactly. He's humble. Yeah. He talks back, only that he talks in his head. It doesn't come out verbally. And so we are killing people more than we know or acknowledge as a country. And so today, if you want to understand your spouse or your partner, please hear me out. All right. So
if you've been in that phase where you're like, I don't get this that is happening, I don't get that. Maybe you're talking to a friend as well and they've been complaining heavily to you. Can you share the link with them to also listen in? All right. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. You can also watch us live on Sunny TV. It's Marriage Unscripted with Michael Ohene-Effah. You can drop your comments as well as he speaks. Michael, please go ahead.
Good. So based on what I've just explained attachment styles are, if you were showered with love, attention, affection, you develop what is called secured attachment style because you felt secured. Now, if the reverse, you were denied emotional support, emotional succor, you were denied love, attention, and affection, you develop an insecure attachment style. So these are the two main attachment styles. Now, inside of the two, there are two. So generally, we have 4 attachment styles: secure and insecure. Insecure when you were denied love. Secure if you were loved and you were doted on when you were young. All right.
So secure and insecure.
Secure and insecure.
Two. Okay.
Now, of the secure, we have secure and anxious. Then of this we have dismissive avoidant and fearful avoidant. All right, let me break it down. I know it's tough.
Yes.
All right, so with the secure attachment style, which is the healthiest of all the attachment styles, one, the person knows healthy boundaries. Two, there's mutual respect and trust and support. Three, there's controlled conflict resolution. This is somebody who feels secured in their love. I'm going to go over again.
Yes.
Healthy boundaries, trust and mutual support, controlled conflict resolution. So one conflict does not kill the relationship. We can resolve it. It doesn't matter the magnitude of the conflict. Now, with the anxious attachment style, there's fear of abandonment. Remember, this person lived without emotional support, love, and affection. And so as an adult, there's still that. The wiring still says, they'll leave me. They'll leave me. So there's what? Fear of abandonment. There's need for constant validation because the person feels anxious all the time. And so these are the people who say, you haven't told me today you love me.
Yeah, and the spouse will say, but why? I told you last month. I told you yesterday.
Or I told you on our wedding day, and I haven't changed my mind.
Okay, I get it now.
All right. So this person needs constant validation. When you go into a public space like a wedding or a funeral, they want you to hold their hand. They want you to sit by them. You cannot leave them and go and be with your friends or your family members before. They constantly need to be validated. Good. Then there's dependent on the partner for self-worth in an anxious attachment style. So it is in the partner that they begin to feel okay. Because remember that for this person, marriage may probably be their very first example of a healthy relationship. Marriage. So if you are dealing with such a person, please know what to do. And then we have the dismissive avoidant. Now, this person avoids intimacy and vulnerability. So they put up a face that I'm a strong person. They don't share their innermost thoughts and their feelings. Remember, they were punished as children for showing vulnerability. And so as married people, as adults, they don't show intimacy, they don't show vulnerability. These are the people, they can be like plywood, papa, then they get up and go. They don't show emotion, they don't show vulnerability.
They're the ones who are not likely to hug, hold
exactly, because
their spouse
it's
or
an
their children.
alien concept to them. They were never hugged. They were never told I love you when they were young. And so you are demanding I love you, I love you. It's an alien concept to that woman or that man because it's something he's never been used to. And when they are going through anything, you are not the person they share with because for them intimacy or vulnerability is an alien emotion that they don't know or feel.
So they are keeping the information to themselves.
Yes.
Who are they?
Yes, they go through everything by themselves. Remember, as a child, they were always by themselves. There was lack of emotional support, lack of love, lack of attention. These are some of the people who grew up by themselves. So they've learned to live in their head. They've learned to struggle through life. And most of the time, they are highly successful people because they channeled that emotion into hard work. And for those people, hard work was their only means of survival because every other thing has been stripped from them. Love, affection, attention, presence. There was no emotional support, no physical support. And so they channel everything into work. And so most of these people are highly successful people because that's the only time they feel validated in life.
Just speaking, I'm just thinking, I've just remembered a billionaire who has a really terrible relationship with his dad. Very successful, very hardworking.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what happens. These are the dismissive avoidance. And that they are mostly guarded and closed people. Because as children, they learn to survive by themselves. And so they don't know how to share. They don't know how to relate. They don't know how to be there for somebody because nobody was there for them when they were growing up. The fourth one is the fearful avoidant. The fearful avoidant. This person fears rejection, has a hard time trusting and relying on the partner. So even though they are married, they don't rely on you. They'll go around you for everything other than you. And they have low self-esteem. And so any little thing, they switch off for 1 week because you said you dismiss them maybe in front of the children, or you say something in front of the neighbors, or you didn't say something right, they pick it up. You say my stomach is not nice, and they work on that for 2 weeks because you said their stomach is not nice. And when I brought my new dress, you didn't even compliment the new dress. It means the new dress is not nice. These are people, they'll spend 6 hours braiding their hair. If you don't compliment, they'll go back the next week to remove the entire thing because you said it's not nice. Very low
by
self-esteem.
not saying anything.
Yes, by
they
not saying anything.
interpreted that.
Exactly.
Oh.
Because it's from the self. So this person is not relating with you. They are relating with their inner child. The inner child that was not validated, that was not loved, that was not shown affection. They are still relating. That little girl is still in them. And that little girl is always crying for love and affection. So if any little thing takes them off, and these are people who compete unnecessarily with other people in their office. They compete unnecessarily with other people on their street. Why? Because they have low self-esteem.
We have a message that says also, I say that it's always important to look at the family dynamics of people in relationships and adjust your expectations. Your spouse may not acknowledge birthdays and celebrations the way you do because it wasn't a big deal in their home.
Yes.
Michael.
Yeah. So what does the secure attachment does? One, they can trust very easily. Remember, this is the secured attachment. People who were loved, who were cherished when they were young. They had a healthy relationship with their parents. They trust easily because they had a trusting relationship. They are tuned to their own emotions. So they, at any point in that, they can tell you, no, I'm not feeling to this thing. Let me deal with it. Or it's not about you. I'm just going through something. So they are tuned to their own emotions. And that they can communicate when they're upset. Some people, when they're upset, they don't talk. And they act it out. But for a secured attachment person, when they are upset, they can tell you that I'm upset with you. I don't like what you said when we went here. I don't like the way you treated me. So others don't talk. They just act it out. And they deny you of certain things and they are not talking, but something is eating them up and they can't talk about it. Now, they lead with cooperative and flexible behavior in relationships. So these are people who know how to make their relationship work. Now, my belief is that we all promise and say till death do us part. And so we are enjoined by our vows to work on this thing till death do what? Us part. We are not supposed to, it is not till a conflict what? Do us part. It is not till a fight do us part. It is death. So how come that we can't relate, we can't deal with our issues when we have to deal with it? All right. The anxious attachment style has a sensitive nervous system, a nervous system that has not been healed. And so they struggle to communicate their needs very directly. In fact, there are couples who communicate through their children. And they talk, and the women do it very well. It's called kasakwa. Kasakwa. They communicate through their children. Yeah. This is your father. He hasn't even told me he loves me before. Then he will laugh about it. Mm-hmm. They are not able to do direct communication. Remember, when they were children, they were told not to. And so even in adulthood, they find it very difficult. These are people, when they are your staff, they even find it very difficult to have talks with their managers because they are not used to that. They can only talk at staff meetings when it's general. But in a one-to-one, they find it very unnerving. And they tend to act out, as I said, when they are triggered. And so they can go quiet, they can throw tantrums, they can insult, they can do that. But they will never say exactly what they are feeling at any point in time. The avoidant dismissive downplays importance of relationships. Remember, they never saw or had a relationship. And so for them, relationships are very fleeting. These are the people, they just see you today, you are their best friend. 7 days later, they've moved on. They go to a funeral, they meet somebody, they are their guy. 3 months later, they've moved on.
You are not the guy.
You are not the guy. They just have very fleeting attention when it comes to relationships. Remember, they never had one. They have had to build their lives. And so even though they are very successful people, they don't have a lot of close relationships or friendships. It's something they are not used to.
They tend to burn the relationships rather quickly.
Yes, because that's how they grew up. They grew up for 20 years of their life, 25 years of their lives. That was it. Nobody was there to model a healthy relationship to them. And so for them, relationships are like T-roll. Use you for a purpose, move on. Use you for a purpose, move on. Use you for a purpose, move on. Every relationship is transactional to them. So when you hear them call you, they are calling you because they need you for something. And then 6 months later, they'll call you again. Oh, I haven't heard from you. Oh, by the way. Then they bring the record. As soon as they finish with you, they've moved on. For them, every relationship is a means to their own end. Now, they are also very self-reliant. Remember that they had to sort themselves out. And so they are very self-reliant. In a marriage, they can live their life. When they have a problem, they won't talk to the spouse. They just deal with it in their own way. And so sometimes the other spouse feels very like an outsider because they never let them into their own space. And then they can become vulnerable when there's a big crisis. Because remember, they are still a child needing love and affection. So there's a little 7-year-old boy in that 50-year-old man who is still crying for love and affection, something he was denied with for the greater majority of his or her life.
And he is not even self-aware of this.
No, he's not. A lot of us are not aware of some of these things. We act it out, we live it every day, but we've never taken the trouble to think through why I do what I do. Why I show up the way I show up, why I relate with people the way I do. Most of us never give a thought to these things. We just live our lives, and when we just go on until one big crisis comes. That's why we are calling on people to always take a pause and reflect over the deeper questions of life.
Samantha has joined us, says, how do you help your partner to be a secured attachment person? I'm sure Michael is going to get there very soon. Emilia says, I see, and now I understand. Eyes are being opened. You can join in this conversation. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. Also, you can watch us live on Sunny TV. You can drop your comments at 0540 130-684, 0540-130-684. All
right. Okay, so now let me give the triggers and I'll go to what you need to do.
Yeah.
So what are the triggers for you to know that your partner has an anxious attachment style or an insecure attachment style? One, they act distant or aloof. They act distant or aloof. So either emotionally or physically. And you are looking for the hugs, the holding, the cuddles, the this. Physically, your partner doesn't know how to do that. When they have an issue, you are not the first person they talk to. When they come home, they are watching TV by themselves. When you come to the bedroom, they come to the hall. When you go to the hall, they go to the bedroom. Yes, because they remember that they've lived their life by themselves.
Yeah.
Remember that, there are some 30-year-olds who've never been cuddled or hugged. Would you believe that?
No.
But that's the reality of a lot of people.
I grew up in a family of lots of hugs. So
exactly. So you have a secured attachment style. So if you don't get a partner with the same secured attachment style, there will be confusion. Now, another trigger, they forget important events such as anniversaries, birthdays, and stuff. It's not them. It's just not in their DNA. So please, if you have a partner like that, forgive them. They act too friendly or flirty with someone else. Remember that for them, every relationship is a transaction. They don't know how to have a secured relationship. And so, yes, you see them, their eyes are rolling all over their place, or they are always this, they are always that. One of the things driving this is the lack of self-worth. So they go to the office, they are very close to somebody else. They go here, they are very close to someone. They compliment other people. They see everybody but their partner. Sometimes comes home late or fails to respond to messages or calls. Because for them, I'm okay. Why are you bothered? I'm fine. I mean, but you left home at 8 a.m., it's 8 p.m., and I haven't heard from you all day. Yeah, but I'm fine. I mean, why are you worried? I'm
11
okay.
p.m.
Exactly. And then they fail to compliment something different, such as new clothes or hairstyle. They don't see it. Remember, they are distant. And so, yes, you're going to do that very beautiful. You've washed your hair. You've done all that thing. And I was saying.
So, Michael, he is not likely, he or she is not likely to see it in their spouse, but will see it in another opposite sex?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not them. Oh. It's not them. It's just the wiring. That's why it needs to be reset. And then for them, everything is very transactional. So you have a date or you have a meeting, they can cancel it. You have a planned family, they can cancel it if another transaction, which is more important or more beneficial to them, comes up. And so there are people who, their children graduate. Oh yeah, but there's a business meeting. He will take that one. Everything has to be benefit them more than the relationship. And in talking about this, my mind is on a certain precedent. Everything is a deal. Everything is a transaction. He doesn't know about relationships.
I've
He
picked it
doesn't.
up.
Yes, please don't say anything.
No. I'm a team player.
Yes. All right. So, having shared the 4 attachment styles and how it is showing up in our marriage, what should we do about
Yes,
it? All right.
that's the big
So, I call
question.
something steps to change. All right. Number 1, increase self-awareness. So, first of all, pay attention to your own feelings, your own thoughts, and your own behaviors in relationships. How do you feel about your relationships? How do you show up in your relationship? For instance, do you avoid discussing deep issues? Do you avoid sharing your innermost thoughts and feelings? Do you avoid being close to your partner? Just pay attention. Now, how do you do that? Take a journal, take a book, diary, and for 1 week, just pay attention to the dominant thoughts that come up. You can do that every morning or every night before you sleep. Just make a note. Now, if you don't like to write and you have your phone, go to the notes app on your phone and just pay attention to how you feel about yourself, how you feel about people, the thoughts that go through you, and the feelings that you go through for 1 week. It's a very basic step or assessment to finding out your own attachment style. Now, there are more scientific ones that you can get online or get a professional to help you deal with some of these issues. Now, so keep a thought diary. Also pay attention to how your body feels emotions. So, for instance, sometimes when your partner withdraws, you feel it in your throat, or you feel a certain tension in your head, or slight headache, or slight migraine, or you can't sleep for the time when there's an absence of love or something. So, pay attention to how stress, trauma, shows up in your body. Pay attention for 1 week. Just write them down. It will give you pointers to how you are feeling. For instance, when your partner shouts, how does your body react or respond to that shouting? Write it down, and then you begin to know that, no, actually, I have this attachment style. I am very anxious. For instance, when your partner is coming home, do you look forward with love and hope, or there's a certain fear, a certain trepidation? She's coming again. Or Ujamoba.
Madame Eba.
Madame Eba. Yeah. And then your heart is racing and you don't know how is she going to respond to this thing? How is she going to do that? You can't forecast or assess how your partner is going to respond to certain situations at home. There's a certain anxiety, when you are going to deal with your partner. It means you are having or developing an anxious attachment style, and you need to deal with it. Number 2, practice open communication. One of the ways to handle some of these things is for us to talk. Remember last week I said that one of the key determinants of a healthy marriage is communication in the first 14 years of marriage. I see that we don't talk that much when we get married. When we are courting and dating, I
remember Uncle Ebo talking about how he and his wife, he would go and escort her to her home, and then they'll come back to his.
Exactly.
Sometimes when we get married, these things, it's like it just ends.
It's ended. Part 1 has ended.
We go out to eat and everything. When we get married, there's no going out.
Yeah, because
but I don't like going out. You wonder about when we're dating.
How does a salesman sell to the person he has already bought this thing from? You move on to the next customer.
Yeah.
So open communication. We do that in Nigeria then when we are courting, and then as soon as the person is in your house now you don't even want to talk.
They said after election, no campaign.
Yes, after election, no campaign. That's what the Nigerians say. So let us learn to communicate our needs and our feelings honestly and respectfully. And here I'm appealing to our wives. Do it respectfully. When you throw tantrums, it does not make your spouse listen to you. When you engage in relationship noise, when you deal with the branches of the issue and not the substance of the issue, it tunes out the other person. And so let your partner know that, when you shouted my name in the morning, my heart skipped a bit. Or anytime you withdraw love from me, I get anxious that you will leave me, just like my dad left my mom when I was 9 years. We need to talk about some of these things in the relationship. We don't have to just to our male friends or our best friends. And when it comes to the one that you are living with, you don't say anything about some of these things. Because your father left your mom when you were 8. You have lived your entire life always fearing that somebody will leave you. And yet you don't discuss it, you don't share. It's in you. And so you have developed a fear of abandonment, but you can't talk about it to your spouse.
Michael, is there a possibility that some spouses can take advantage of this information? For instance, that anytime you do this, I'm afraid you will leave me because of
Then
what
they
happened
do
in my
it.
past.
That means that they are also dealing with a style that needs to be healed. Anybody who also responds negatively to you is dealing with it themselves. And so they must also heal. Because he then doesn't have to use this as a weapon against you. Because they know that you have a self-worth issue. And so then they begin to put you down even more. It means that man or that woman haven't healed. And they themselves have a dysregulated nervous system that needs to be tackled.
Okay.
That's why we need professional help. All right. So how do you practice open communication? Take a breather. For instance, when you feel like you are a bit anxious or you feel like you cannot address this issue that your spouse is coming, you can go to the washroom very quickly and for just 2 minutes, take in very deep breath for 10. Release, take in, release, take in, release. When you do that, it calms your nervous system. And then you can now deal with the issue. All right. Now, also, pay attention to the emotions that you go through during the day. What emotions do you go through? Why did you get so worked up when your boss made that comment on the report you gave him? It made you feel very down. The whole day you felt like you are a useless person. You are not reacting or responding to your boss. You are reacting to that little 7-year-old girl who was told she's not enough. It's not your boss you are dealing with. So pay attention to the emotions you go through and what triggers those emotions.
Because Michael, some of us are moving from one place to the other. Always a boss is a problem.
It's not the boss, it's you. You have to heal that girl who is unhealed. It's not the boss. You can't even go and work in heaven with the angels. You have a problem.
Still.
Yes. It's not the bosses. It's not your colleagues. It's you. You need to heal. When you heal, you do not allow one sentence in an email to put you down for 3 days. You have an inner child who is suffering from self-worth. That must be healed. It is not your... Yes, of course, I don't condone bosses being rude or being insolent to their staff and to all. But you can better respond to a toxic boss when you have healed your inner child.
Thank you, Michael.
All right. So you can also create internal scripts. Last we talked about headlining when you are going through some of these things. So one of the things to resolve the issues between you and your spouse is also sometimes to headline. So you can tell your spouse, every time you don't hold my hand when we attend big functions, I feel very vulnerable. Talk about it. Or you can say that, when you shout, it sets something in me. It is not you, it's not your shouting, but it sets off something in me. Can you pay attention to that? A lot of the time, we don't headline some of these, and we don't warn, we don't raise some of these. So you are acting it out, it is eating you up, but you are not talking about it. All right. Then you can have a script, actually. Take a post-it note and write down the script. Understand that you may not understand why I'm upset, but here's why I feel anxious about this issue. You see, so here you are letting your partner know that you are anxious about this particular issue because of A, B, C, D, because of X, Y, Z. Headline it so that we can have a conversation. You can also say that I know that you didn't intentionally mean to ignore my call, but it made me feel really worried. So it is not the call. Some partners interpret incessant calls from their spouses as monitoring, M&E, monitoring and evaluation. So anytime they see a phone call, it's like, hey, he's checking up on, she wants to, no. But the other person just wants to feel okay, that you are fine, that you are safe. And so you see there's miscommunication. We have not communicated our expectations of each other. Now, if you don't do that, it may create unnecessary conflict. So you have a wife who calls you 4 times a day, 5 times a day, 6 times a day. That person suffers from abandonment and always want to be sure you are fine. Whereas you also see it as she's checking up on me. I went for lunch with a group of my colleagues. She just wants to know who I am with. No, this person just needs constant assurance that I'm fine. And so we need to talk about it. That's how you practice open
5 or 6 course abandonment, Abem.
Yes.
Okay.
The other person feels like if I don't hear from him, where is he? Is he okay? Maybe this person, the parents both left her at a certain particular time in her life. She lives in fear that those she loves may also leave her in the same way. So yes, she has dealt with it. It was 15 years ago. It was 20 years ago. But there's still an inner child that is always afraid that the people she loves, she may not see them again. And so every 2 hours, she needs to assure herself that her husband or his wife is fine and okay and everything is fine. It is not her. That nervous system must be healed.
This is Sunny, 88.7. I'm seeing lots of your questions today. We wrap up at 9:30. I think Michael will finish up and then we'll quickly get to your questions here. Yes.
Number 2, seek professional help. We are realizing that many people don't want to seek help. A lot of people just want to talk. They don't want to deal with their issues. When you have an unhealed, you have an insecure attachment style. When you have an unhealed or dysregulated nervous system, please, there is a place for prayer, and there's also a place for dealing with the issues that we are confronting us. A lot of people just want to call you and talk, but talking does not resolve some of these deep. Remember, these things happened to you 20 years, 30 years, 40 years ago. You can't do a 4-minute WhatsApp call and deal with it. You need to go through a proper program to reset your nervous system so that you'll be free and you will have more nicer, healthier, happier relationships, both at work and at home. So please seek professional help. And there are lots of people. My own brother, Patrick Otiekubuedu, deals with it professionally. We deal with it at LeadAfrique as well. There are lots of other psychologists and counseling psychologists that will help you if you know that you have this problem. You are an incurable jealous person. It is not you. There's something you need to heal, you need to cure. And you can't do that by calling somebody for 2 minutes. You need to go on a program and heal yourself. All right, so seek professional help. Then the other thing is seek self-compassion. Love yourself. Because remember, you are dealing with lack of love, attention, and affection when you were young. And that is making you show up in a certain way as a grown adult. So begin to love yourself. Give yourself hugs, self-hugs. Begin to tell yourself you are enough. Begin to tell yourself you are valuable. If you can do that for just 10 seconds every day before you brush your teeth, you can begin to heal.
Okay.
Look into the mirror, look into the eyes of that person that you see, and tell that person just 3, 4, 5 things every day. And then begin to love yourself, because the more self-esteem you have, the better you show up in your relationships.
Right.
So it is not your husband, it is not your wife, it is you. You need, some men have serious lack of self-worth. And so they then focus on mundane things at home. Look at the way you are serving me. Why are you interested in the way your wife is serving you? Look at the way you just put the drink by like that. You can't even see mirror. It is not your spouse. It is you. You need to heal that inner child who is desiring respect, love, and affection. So engage in a lot of self-love. Also challenge a lot of the negative thoughts that come into your mind. Remember, you are going to do a 7-day journaling, writing down thoughts, emotions, and feelings. So if you realize that the dominant thoughts you go through every day is negative, begin to challenge it. For instance, fear of abandonment, which has made you extremely jealous. Ask yourself, what was the probability, or what is the probability that your spouse will run away from you? What's that probability? And so calm your nervous system by saying that, look, this fear, it lacks basis. This thing that I've put into my mind, it lacks basis. So I should allow my husband and his secretary to work. Why am I so, consistently imagining and having a whole Indian movie in my mind about what can happen between my husband and the young national service girl who's working around him? Okay. You are living a certain fear that somebody will run away from you. So you have to deal with it, and you have to challenge those negative thoughts. Now, learn how to regulate your emotions by doing either the breathing exercises or by noting them down. And then you can overwrite it by having the one you want to experience. So, for instance, when you wake up early morning and you feel that thing in your throat, and you feel very tightening, you feel very anxious, ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Pay attention. You know, a lot of people don't stop to pay attention. And so you are going through the whole day. You know you are not prepared, you are not fine. But you haven't sat down to say, why am I feeling so tensed? And then pay attention to that. You can also pray with scripture. When it happens like that, go to the washroom, or if you are in your own office, close your office, just kneel down, say a short word of prayer to bring you back into, your normal state. And then set healthy boundaries so that you can protect your emotional well-being. For instance, if you live with an abusive spouse, then you need to begin to set healthy boundaries until the two of you are able to resolve and seek professional help for your issues. So let me quickly go through what you need to do to seek help. Number one, we've talked about open communication. We've talked about paying attention to your own emotions. We've talked about seeking help. We've talked about engaging in self-compassion. And then we've talked about regulating the negative thoughts that come to mind, and then also regulating your own emotions so you can deal with the emotions from your partner.
Thank you very much, Michael. And we have some questions. We have just about 13 minutes to go. We're going to see how we're going to do all this in 13 minutes. So Samantha says, how do you help your partner to be a secured attachment person?
Well, we've gone through the steps. So first of all, try and go through the issues that led to the insecure attachment. So what was the relationship with the father, the mother, if they were raised by an auntie who kept shouting and beating them. So just talk through those issues. Okay. And then now go through the steps we've gone through. Okay, so your auntie used to shout and beat you. So anytime somebody shouts, it triggers that inner child who wants to, and then assurance. Okay. For somebody like that, you need to love him more. You need to assure him more that you are not the auntie. When you bring up something, he's hearing your voice but seeing the auntie. And so he shuts down. So you have to bring up issues in a non-threatening way so that he does not hear the auntie's voice through you.
All right. And Emilia says, like temperaments, can one person have a double attachment style?
Yes, you can oscillate. You can move between styles based on the incidents and what you are dealing with.
And Agbenya says, we have opportunity to learn how to hug as the case may be. Samantha says, the thing called open communication is key. This one says, what do you do if your husband has a little bit of what everything Michael is talking about?
Seek help.
There's a lot of work.
Yes, seek help. You can't deal with this at home. So please look for a professional. Check out Spearhead Consult. They have a program where they can help you to regulate and to bring back your nervous system. And so, or talk to any psychologist, counselor, but they need to have the right tools. Not all counselors have the tools to deal with some of our problems. And so when you are talking to a counselor, check whether they have the tool to deal with your problem. So that, and please, let's be willing to invest in some of these things. I see that most people don't want to invest in a lot of these soft issues. But please, do that and free yourself so you can better enjoy life.
I want to enjoy life. I want the serene marriages. That's the hashtag. That's what we're running on.
That's right.
As we're preparing for couples retreat, serene marriages. And this one says, this is Prince from CLP Cohort 5.
Oh, okay.
This is very revealing. I would be happy if the notes are shared later on because I'm enjoying the conversation and struggling to keep up with the notes. All right, we'll share the YouTube link with you. This one says, JJD, I want to know more about my attachment style. I tend to want to be close to people, but a bit scared when they are getting close. Also, when working, I don't like being disturbed until I am done. And since I work intensely, I stay away longer, which makes others displeased and drift away. I am Jen from Teshi. Michael.
Jen, please go on then. There are a lot of free tests that there's a site called the Attachment Project. You can take a free attachment style quiz, and it will also give you steps to take to be able to free yourself from whichever style that you are exhibiting.
You're finding yourself in. And Abna says, does any of the types linked to narcissism. I mean, lately we are hearing that word a lot, narcissism.
Yes.
If you can touch on that, I think I'm also curious about it.
Yeah, the two insecure attachment styles, the avoidant and then the dismissive, they both produce people that we call narcissists. Now, they have this urge to control everything in their lives because that was something they were denied when they were young. There is an inner child that is yearning for love and for affection, but they don't know how to communicate that. And so they become very controlling, they become very demanding, domineering. They become this. Why? Because there's an inner child that is waiting to burst out. Narcissists can't resolve without professional help.
Oh.
Yeah, you can. It's one of the, I don't want to say something, but please seek professional help.
All right.
But the two insecure attachment styles lead to narcissism.
This is Sunny 88.7 from our Marriage Unscripted series with Michael Ohene-Effah this morning. We have a comment on YouTube from Dede. Dede says, that's so true. This one says, thanks for reading my message. Oh, we are here for you anytime, Jen. We're here for you. So you've been listening to Michael Ohene-Effah. He'll be one of our resource persons at the couples retreat. And I love Michael and Tish. They are so outgoing, so approachable. And we've been speaking to our resource persons and asking them, would you perchance have one slot during the weekend to speak with any couple who would love to? And they're saying yes, they want to make one slot for a couple over the weekend. If you'd love to join us for the couples retreat, and I hope you do, as we are talking about, Michael talking about investments in the soft things, right? We hope you can join us at the couples retreat. I'll let Michael just do a quick invitation to all Sunny couples listening in and why it's important that you make this investment and come and be a part of the retreat. Yeah.
This last year and this year have been particularly very troubling for us in terms of what we are seeing with the breakdown of especially Christian marriages. And so I'm fired up and charged, and I'm so looking forward to the couples retreat. I've been researching and doing a lot of thinking, a lot of reflection, and we've put together a program. I mean, when I was growing up at Kotobabi Down, we had a word, it would be issues. So please, if you are planning on not coming, you are going to miss a lot because we will share. And I know that the Mantes and the professor also coming fired up to share, because we must embark on this revolution to save our marriages. Yeah. And I think it all starts from the conscious decision to be amongst like-minded married people. And so we are going to have a very good time in the presence of the Lord, sharing, and we are coming up with interesting stuff, taming the 4 horses that attack marriages.
Okay. There
are 4 horses that attack marriages. Now, how do you deal with each one of them? Interesting exercises, interesting things. If you really want to understand, I mean, what I'm giving is just the status. I'm just giving you
the main dish,
that white thing on cake is what?
Is it the icing?
Good.
The icing.
What I'm giving is just the icing on the cake. If you want to taste the real meal, you want to really, really have serious, open communication with your spouse so you can deal with the issues that have been hampering, debilitating, and hurting your marriage. Please make it to the couples retreat, because we will let you know your spouse in a way you've never done. And we will lead you to have some conversations that you probably have never had with your spouse. And that's a promise. Now, we are coming out with 2 interesting games and activities. Okay. So we'll be looking forward to it. We really fired up. We really charged it up. And we are coming. And the objective is one. The mission is one. Christian marriages must be enjoyable. Christian marriages must be serene. Christian marriages must be loving. Amen. And so everything we are going to do at the retreat is geared towards this. Because of the retreat, we are actually planning a training program in time. So we are going to go far ahead of you, just praying and watering the grounds for the team to come. So please, it is one of the single biggest investments you can make into your marriage this year. If it was for the children, you do it. Yeah. If it is for your aunties and uncles, you do it. If it was for a neighbor, you send that momo. commit that investment into your own relationship. The most important relationship on earth is your marriage relationship. And so save that marriage, rekindle that love, reset that marriage, and have a serene, enjoyable, peaceful marriage. We are waiting to receive you in Takoradi. We are waiting to share what the Lord has placed on our heart, including the research that we've done. You will not. And please, when you come and your marriage becomes sweet after the retreat, don't forget to send Momo. Some people
Michael will send Momo.
They have nice marriages after retreat, then you forget the Momo part. The Momo is part of the retreat. The Momo is part of the retreat.
Michael,
So
Letitia,
please,
yeah.
when you come and the thing is now EDB for you, remember
to send the Momo. We so appreciate Michael and Letitia and all they do for couples, all they do for families. God bless you so much. We're looking forward.
Amen.
In fact, this time looks like they are going to be receiving us in Takra Day. So we're looking forward to being a part of, we're looking forward to receiving you also at the couples retreat. So it's 29th to 31st of August. If you need to quickly arrange a leave, do that. Have a quick conversation at your office. It's 7,888 Ghana cedis for you and your spouse. It covers transportation, your 3 days and 2 nights hotel stay, your retreat sessions, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We'll have a whole day, a full day at the Groove Esipon Beach Resort. This is the first time we're trying something like this at our couples retreat, where we are moving you away from our hotel that we are staying at. So if you've been thinking about it, I hope today you're encouraged to actually join us, sign up. You can WhatsApp us 0545 2233 0545 223324. If you want to drive with your spouse, just reach us. We'll let you know what the cost changes are. For those of you joining, a few people have called us. They're in Takrady. They want to join us. You can let us know. A few people too are joining in from Sunyane, all over Ghana. All right, just let us know. We have options. We have arrangements we can make for you. What is important to us is that couples gather. We're also praying into the retreat because we don't want it to be just another gathering. We are praying for the Lord to show up. We are praying for impact. So remember to be a part of this. 0545 223324. Michael, thank you so much for coming through. So I think this will probably be our last meeting with you, and then we'll see you in Takrady. You will be welcoming us.
I'm off to work in 2 cities before the retreat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Michael, see you in Takrady.
We'll see you.
You have this nice hat. Will you come with that hat?
From sunrise to sunset, it's work calls, deadlines, bills, the kids, traffic. FM is excited to announce its Couples Retreat 2025.
Like a dream come true.
The Couples Retreat train is heading to the beautiful city of Takoradi this year. Prepare for a